She never arrives alone. Her gestures, her eyes, the way she tilts her head, the soft motion of her fingers through her hair, the sudden shift in her breathing, all of it carries encrypted meanings that only the truly observant can decode. Machiavelli once said that those who understand the hidden signals always control the outcome. Today you are going to uncover the most subtle and most powerful movements that reveal what she truly thinks, what she truly feels, and what she will never openly admit. Prepare yourself, because after this you will never look at a woman the same way again. You will see beyond the surface. You will read the body before the words. You will understand the silence louder than the speech. And when you master this invisible language, you will possess a power most men never even know exists. There is something most men never notice. Before a woman says a single word, before she shows interest or rejection, before she reveals desire or disgust, her body has already spoken. Female body language is a silent vocabulary filled with hidden intentions, calculated ambiguity, and microscopic clues that reveal far more than any sentence ever could. But this language is not available to everyone. Machiavelli would say those who understand what is hidden rule over those who believe only what is spoken. In the emotional world of women, what is concealed is the real map of power. Understanding the body before the words is like reading secret intelligence before entering a negotiation. The first Machiavellian rule is brutally simple. Do not believe what she says. Watch what she does. Many women are conditioned from childhood to soften their words, control their reactions, and hide their feelings so they do not appear weak, desperate, or too available. But the body betrays the truth. The body reveals what the mind tries to bury. When you understand these signals, you start seeing beyond polite social behavior, and you touch the truth she does not dare to admit, not to you, and not even to herself. One of the first movements Machiavelli would instantly notice is the subtle lean of the body. When a woman slightly leans toward you, she is not just listening, she is granting permission. It is a silent signal that says you can continue, even if she does not verbalize it due to strategy, shyness, or caution. But when a woman keeps her upper body leaning away from you, even if she is smiling and talking, she is saying the opposite. Tread carefully. You have not earned access to my inner world yet. Most men make the fatal mistake of confusing a smile with interest. But a woman's smile is one of the most flexible social tools in existence. It can mean friendliness, politeness, strategic charm, or even psychological defense. But the body lean, that one does not lie. Another key Machiavellian signal is the eyes. Women do not hold eye contact by accident. There are three main types of looks that reveal deep truths. The first is the quick, repeated glance. She looks at you, looks away, then looks again. This shows interest, but it also means she wants you to make the first move. It is like she is saying, prove your value before I reveal mine. The second is the prolonged look, the one that lasts half a second longer than it should. Women who understand the power of their gaze use this as a weapon. This look is calculated. It is both an invitation and a test. If you back off, you lose value. If you rush in, you lose respect. The right response is calm confidence. Acknowledge the look, keep the energy alive, but do not act desperate or urgent. That is how you flip the game. She realizes she does not control you, and that triggers curiosity. The third type is the shy, evasive look, the one that seems like shyness but actually is not. Many times it is her way of protecting what she feels. A woman who cannot hold eye contact when you get close may be hiding desire, fear of looking vulnerable, or a powerful mix of both. When this kind of look appears, it always means something. It is never just a look. Machiavelli would also pay close attention to the hands. A woman's hands are often the most honest sign of emotion. When she touches her own arm, neck, or hair while talking to you, she is dealing with internal anxiety. And in the game of attraction, anxiety almost always comes from interest. If she felt nothing, there would be no tension. When she touches her neck, she is unconsciously revealing vulnerability, and vulnerability is one of the strongest signs of attraction. But when she crosses her arms, hides her hands, or locks her fingers together, she is signaling the need for control. This does not always mean rejection, but it does mean you need to be more subtle, more patient, and above all not invasive. Distance is also a silent weapon. Women calculate personal space with precision. Moving just 2 centimeters closer may seem like nothing to you, but to her it can mean everything. When a woman allows you to enter her intimate space, anything closer than about 45 centimeters, it means she not only feels safe, but also that your presence does not feel threatening. But if she steps back every time you step forward, even while smiling, that is a defensive signal. She has not given permission yet, and if you keep pushing, you break the game. And then comes the most fascinating part: body silence. That moment when she stops talking, stops moving too much, becomes calm. Most men think this means disinterest, but actually silence means processing. When a woman becomes quiet around you, when she listens more than she speaks, when she observes without rushing, she is evaluating, she is measuring your value, she is deciding who you are, whether you are a threat, an opportunity, or just another face in the crowd. And this is where the most powerful Machiavellian principle appears. Do not try to fill the silence. Silence is dominance. If you rush to talk, to entertain, to impress, you lose power. But if you stay calm, present and comfortable in the silence, she feels something rare: stability. And for women, stability creates trust. Trust creates openness. Openness creates emotional connection. And this is only the surface of the hidden secrets behind female body language from a Machiavellian point of view, where nothing is random and every small movement has a hidden intention. When you learn this silent language, you stop being controlled by words and start leading through behavior. There is one detail almost nobody notices, but Machiavelli would point it out instantly. To truly understand a woman's body language, you should not only observe what she does, but especially what she avoids doing. Avoidance is a silent confession, deep, unconscious and real. Many women, when they begin to feel something they are not ready to accept, try to hide their body. But the body always reacts before the mind. So when a woman looks away at the exact moment your eyes meet, it is not disinterest, it is intensity. She avoids looking because eye contact reveals too much too soon, something she wants to protect until you have proven you deserve access. This quick escape of the eyes is actually one of the strongest signs that you have entered her psychological space. Another Machiavellian detail is rhythm, the rhythm of her body. A woman's rhythm changes based on the emotional impact you have on her. If her breathing becomes slightly faster when you get close, if her chest movement becomes a little quicker, if she swallows before answering, all of this is physical proof that you have entered her emotional territory and her body is trying to stabilize itself. Sometimes her voice becomes softer, shakier, or a little faster. These micro-reactions cannot be faked. A woman may lie with words, but her body cannot lie for very long. And if there is one behavior men misread the most, it is female restlessness. Machiavelli observed where there is restlessness, there is hidden emotion. A woman who plays with her hair, fidgets with her fingers, adjusts her clothes, touches her shoulder or neck. She is not uncomfortable with you. She is uncomfortable with what she feels. This is her body trying to release inner tension. And tension is almost always created by attraction. When a woman feels nothing, she is calm, neutral, controlled, cold. Lack of movement reveals as much as excess movement, but there is an even deeper layer: coherence with the environment. If a woman chooses to stand near you, even when there are many other places available, she is silently saying you are the focus. And if she positions herself so she can always see you no matter where you are, that is watchful interest. She does not want to declare it, but she does not want to lose sight of you either. It is like she is saying, I want to observe you without being noticed. Accidental touch also carries meaning. There are 3 main types: the approach touch, the testing touch, and the confirming touch. The approach touch is that light brush of the arms, that subtle contact when you pass close to each other, the kind that looks like coincidence but rarely is. If she wanted to avoid touching you, She easily could. That is the Machiavellian point. The testing touch is more direct. She touches you briefly and watches your reaction. She wants to see if you lose composure, if you react too strongly, if you show neediness. But the confirming touch is different. This happens after you have already proven your value. It is when she touches your arm or shoulder in a way that quietly says, "I am closer now, because I trust you." Then comes posture, one of the strongest signals of all. A woman standing tall with straight posture while talking to you is projecting control, independence, and emotional strength. But if she relaxes only when she is around you, that is silent vulnerability. And as Machiavelli would say, vulnerability is the opening through which one gains access to the castle. A woman who stays extremely rigid around you may simply be protecting something inside, afraid of looking too eager, too emotional, or out of control. Rigidity is not rejection, it is self-protection. Movement is another critical clue. Notice whether she shifts her body toward you when you enter the room. Notice if she turns her torso in your direction, even while she is still talking to someone else. This is one of the most ignored and most powerful signs. Her body is saying what her mouth does not. You matter here. If she turns her body away, it is not always rejection. Sometimes it is fear of revealing too much. The difference lies in the other signals. If she turns away but still keeps looking at you, that is not distance. That is controlled restraint. And then there is the silent approach. Many women come closer without any obvious reason, asking for small help, passing by more closely than needed, staying just within touching distance. That is pure invitation, a Machiavellian way of opening the door without saying a word. It is like her body is saying, "I will not ask, but I also will not stop you." And maybe the most important truth is this. A woman's body intensity is directly proportional to the psychological impact you have on her. Some women talk a lot, but their body speaks even louder. Others speak very little, but their body screams. Your role is simply to learn how to read the message. It is up to you to interpret not only what she shows, but also what she tries to hide. Female body language is not a fixed manual. It is a game, silent, subtle, full of emotional layers and intuitive strategies. Those who truly observe win. Those who ignore the signs lose before they even begin. There is also a deeper psychological layer Machiavelli would highlight. A woman does not reveal her true feelings in the first reaction, but in the second. The first reaction is automatic. The second reaction is where the subconscious escapes. For example, when you say something surprising, whether it is a confident remark, a teasing comment, or a compliment, she first reacts in the expected social way. But right after that, the real meaning appears. A woman who smiles politely and then gently bites her lower lip is silently confessing interest. A woman who answers with a neutral HM but briefly looks down before facing you again is showing emotional impact. It is the second gesture that reveals what she does not want to admit. Another Machiavellian way to read female body language is to watch how she behaves when she thinks she is not being observed. Most women carefully control posture, eye contact, even breathing when you are looking directly at them. But when you turn away, when she believes your attention is gone, her body relaxes, and that relaxation says everything. If she fixes her hair, adjusts her clothes, glances at you, or follows your movements when she thinks you are not watching, that is pure, unfiltered interest. No social mask. Machiavelli said the truth appears when the guard falls asleep. In women, the guard drops when they believe you are not looking. There is also the mirror effect. A woman who likes you often starts subtly copying your movements, crossing her legs after you do, adjusting her drink when you adjust yours, shifting posture right after you move. This happens because her body is trying to create connection. It is instinctive, not conscious. And this synchronicity is one of the deepest signs of psychological interest. If she starts mirroring you, even in small ways, it means you have entered her emotional behavior. But Machiavelli would also warn about defensive signals, because this is where many men get confused. A defensive woman is not always rejecting you. Often she is protecting what she feels. Women who truly have no interest tend to be neutral, empty, with no emotional energy in their body. But women who are hiding interest often do the opposite. They cross their arms, avoid eye contact, act busy, answer too quickly, or exaggerate their emotional distance. This excess is revealing. Forced coldness usually means there is an inner battle between what she feels and what she does not want to show. The body builds barriers when the mind fears opening up too soon. If you look even deeper, you will see how territory affects female body language. Every woman has a safe space, and if she lets you enter that space, it means something. If she places her bag between you or keeps objects like a shield, she is building an emotional border. But if she moves the bag away, leaves the space between you open, or lets you sit close without pulling back, she is opening the territory. Symbolic, subtle, but as powerful as a verbal confession. Another Machiavellian point is understanding the female ritual of approach. Women rarely approach directly. They do it in circles. They move closer, then pull back, then get closer again, watching your behavior, the stability of your energy, and how you react. A woman who truly likes you will almost never come all the way in at once. She takes one step forward, watches, stays silent, watches again, asks a small question, and watches once more. This cycle is her silent way of measuring your emotional stability. If you respond with calm confidence, she moves closer. If you react with urgency, anxiety, or neediness, she pulls away. Her body acts like a radar for stability. And here lies Machiavelli's key insight. A woman's power is in her subtlety. Female signals are not loud, they are not obvious, they are not direct. They are small movements, small gestures, small openings. Those who see beyond the obvious always stay one step ahead. For example, when she exposes her neck by tilting her head slightly, that is vulnerability. When she turns her wrist upward while speaking, that is openness. When her shoulders relax when she hears your voice, that is trust beginning to form. These signals are ancient, almost primal, and they still exist today. There is also ambiguous behavior, the kind that confuses many men. Women who like you may sometimes act cold out of fear. Fear of seeming too easy, fear of falling too fast, fear that you will lose interest if you realize she already likes you. This fake coldness is not rejection, it is protection. You recognize it because it comes with contradictory microsignals. She ignores you but watches you when you look away. She pretends not to care, but her breathing changes when you get close. She says it means nothing, but her whole body shows tension. When behavior contradicts words, the truth is always in the body. Finally, there is the involuntary touch. When she touches you without realizing it, a light touch on your forearm while talking, a brief touch on your hand while laughing, a gentle tap on your shoulder to get your attention. These touches are not planned, they are impulses, and impulses are the purest way feelings are revealed. Machiavelli always said, when you understand a person's impulses, they reveal more than 1,000 speeches ever could. A woman's body language is a silent game where every gesture carries intention, every posture hides a code, and every glance is an encrypted message. Reading it is like accessing the most private side of the feminine mind, the things they do not say but always show. There is one particularly Machiavellian truth that few men understand. Female body language does not just show interest. It is constantly testing you. Many women, even when they feel attraction, send mixed signals on purpose to measure a man's emotional strength, stability, and ability to stay grounded under pressure. For Machiavelli, true strength appears when someone faces uncertainty, and that is exactly what a woman does when she alternates between closeness and distance. She wants to see how you respond to not knowing. One of the most common tests is the shift between openness and withdrawal. She comes closer, smiles, lightly touches you, then suddenly crosses her arms, pulls back, or changes tone. Most men think this is rejection, but often it is just a psychological test. She wants to know whether you rely on her validation, or whether your energy remains calm and stable despite the shift. Female body language has used this strategy for centuries. She gets closer to create connection, then steps back to observe your reaction. If you respond with insecurity, neediness, or frustration, she concludes you depend too much on her interest. But if you stay relaxed, natural, confident, she senses emotional strength and her interest multiplies. Another Machiavellian test is controlled distance. Many women walk beside a man keeping a very specific distance. If you move closer and she gently pulls away, it is not always rejection, it is measurement. She wants to know whether you can understand her limits without her needing to say a word, whether you can read her body. If you respect the distance, she relaxes. If you keep invading it, she builds emotional walls. Distance is one of the most subtle weapons of female body language, and only the perceptive can read it. There is also the controlled gaze test. A woman who feels something for you may often look at you, then look away again and again. But when she finally holds eye contact for a few seconds, that too is a test. She wants to see how you react. Do you sustain the gaze calmly, or do you break first, showing nervousness or emotional dependence? She wants to see if you lose yourself in her or remain centered. The man who holds eye contact calmly without arrogance transmits the exact combination that most deeply affects the feminine subconscious: strength and self-control. The man who looks away out of nervousness shows insecurity, and the man who stares too intensely trying to prove something shows neediness. Balance is the secret. Another very revealing test is partial attention. A woman who likes you but does not want to fully show it, yet pretends to be distracted. She checks her phone, looks away while you speak, or acts like she is only half engaged. But look at her body. If her feet are pointed toward you, if her torso is slightly leaning your way, if she laughs even without looking directly at you, then the distraction is an act. She is testing your psychological strength. She wants to see if you stay grounded, even when she does not give you 100% attention. Machiavelli would also highlight reaction speed. A woman who is interested reacts faster than she realizes. Notice this. When you say something bold, she smiles before trying to hide it. When you get closer, her body reacts before her mind catches up. That tiny delay between reaction and self-control is a goldmine. The faster the reaction, the stronger the emotional impact. Now to the deepest truth. A woman evaluates a man's emotional stability by observing his body stability. If your posture changes depending on her mood, if you relax when she shows interest and tense up when she pulls back, she loses respect because that means your emotional state depends on her approval. But if you keep the same calm, confident posture, no matter what she does, this hits the female subconscious powerfully. It shows you are guided by your inner center, not by the tests she throws your way. Touch is also used as a test. Sometimes she touches you naturally, and later in the same conversation avoids touching you at all. This variation is intentional. She wants to see whether you treat the touch as a guarantee, whether you become unbalanced when she takes it away. True power belongs to the man whose energy does not change whether he receives attention or loses it. The less your energy fluctuates, the more her interest grows. Another classic test is hidden emotional proximity. She comes close and speaks softly, then suddenly pulls away and changes tone. This is her way of testing how you handle intimacy. If you respond with maturity and calmness, she sees you can handle intensity. But if you act like it is something rare or overwhelming, you lose value, and perhaps the most Machiavellian test of all is this: female silence. A woman who likes you may suddenly go quiet around you, not because she has nothing to say, but to see how you handle the absence of stimulation. She wants to see whether you rush to fill every silence, whether you get nervous, whether you lose composure. The man who remains calm in silence controls the game. Silence is the battlefield where emotional control is fully revealed. And through all these tests, a woman continues to send real signals of interest. But only the perceptive man can separate what is genuine from what is strategic. Female body language is like a maze where every gesture has two meanings, the obvious one and the hidden one. Those who see only the obvious get lost. Those who see the hidden truth rise above the game. There is something even deeper in female body language that Machiavelli would instantly understand. A woman's body does not just reveal attraction, it reveals intention, and intention is far more powerful than attraction. Attraction is temporary, intention is strategic. A woman may find a man attractive and still not want anything with him, but when she shows intention even subtly, even silently, her body sends signals that do not appear in any other emotional context. The first of these is physical anticipation. Watch how she reacts even before you speak. When she sees you approaching and her body already changes, her posture straightens, her breathing deepens, her eyes become more focused or more evasive. This means you already occupy space in her mind. Her body reacts before it even knows what you are going to say. This kind of preparation cannot be faked. It comes from the subconscious, and the female subconscious is the most honest part of her. Another sign of intention is silent repositioning. This happens when she changes seats or shifts places without noticing, but somehow ends up closer to you, or when she chooses to sit beside you, not because it was the only available spot, but because it offered the best chance for interaction. That is pure intention. And silent intention is more powerful than spoken intention because it cannot be denied. There is also a classic gesture of emotional offering, the exposed wrist. Hardly anyone notices it, but when a woman leaves the inside of her arm visible, when she turns her wrist upward while speaking, when her hands stay open and relaxed, this is an ancient signal of vulnerability and trust. It is not random, it comes from deep emotional and social coding. An exposed wrist says, "I am opening my sensitive side." Women do not do this with just anyone. Another Machiavellian distinction is this: know the difference between curiosity and involvement. Curiosity shows in the eyes, quick, repeated, evaluating glances, but involvement takes over the whole body, constant leaning in, breathing that syncs with yours, small accidental approaches that never truly are accidents. Curiosity wants information, involvement wants presence, and most men never see the difference. Then comes one of the most subtle gestures of all, the retention micro-smile. It is not a full smile, too small for that, but too deep to be just politeness. It is the tiny smile she makes when she tries to hold something back, a thought, a feeling, an emotional reaction. That micro-smile means you triggered something inside her. Machiavelli would say this kind of gesture reveals loyalty even before a relationship exists. Another key sign appears before the meeting even happens. When a woman puts in just a little more effort to look good, simply because she knows she will see you. When she fixes her hair the moment she notices you even from far away.